Well, Mum actually went to her doctor after about 8, 9 years, and with depression, and they found that her not being able to get pregnant was the cause of it. They then got to see a specialist in Bristol who had said that they couldn't do anything, but had heard of the work that Patrick Steptoe and Bob Edwards were doing up in Oldham. And I think from then, Mum always believed they would be able to help her and she'd have a baby.
She believed?
Yeah.
Even though the odds weren't necessarily with her.
I don't think she really listened to what anybody said. She just wanted a baby, and she saw that there was this slight chance and just grabbed it.
I think you probably know the details of your birth more than any other person on earth, right? Like, most of us don't know the nitty-gritty of how we were conceived.
It's pretty weird watching yourself be born.
Is it?
Yes.
When you were a child, did you feel like you had to prove that you were normal?
I didn't feel like I had to prove it, but I think that is why Mum and Dad did a lot of the tours that they did. They did a tour of the States, they did Japan. I know at one point when I was in the pram, Mum took me to a local bakery, and they said, "Oh, is this the test tube baby?" And Mum said, "Yeah." And they said, "Oh, she's normal." And Mum said, "Well, what did you expect her to have, 2 heads?" And they couldn't answer it. They couldn't answer, but it was the unknown, wasn't it? Mum and Dad wanted to explain a little bit to me before I went to school, because the school was local, everybody was local, so everybody knew about me, and they just thought it was fair that I understand a little bit. And they just showed the video of my birth, which to a 4-year-old is pretty bloody and not very nice. But they showed me that and just said I was born a little bit different to everybody else.
A little bit different?
Yeah.
What did that mean to you?
I didn't really take it in at 4. It was only growing up, listening to Mum and Dad be interviewed by different people. And then back when I was growing up, it was senior school, you did the sex education. It was quite funny, sat in the class, and your face is in the book.
Your face was in the textbook?
Yeah. It was pretty weird, really.
When did you first hear the term test tube baby?
I grew up with test tube baby. I do prefer IVF. Test tube baby and it led to questions like my friends in school saying, "How did you get in the test tube then?" And I said, "The test tube wasn't involved." And they look at you blankly and think, "Well, why is it called that?" And I said, "I don't know." I'd prefer people to say, "Oh, this is Louise," not, "Oh, this is the first test tube baby."
It is pretty unique.
Yeah.
And you realize the significance of it.
Yeah. I just do try to sort of forget it and just get on with my life, if that makes sense. I mean, there's 8 million of us now, so it just doesn't seem quite so that I was the first, but there's millions now.